A warm good evening to ladies and gentlemen. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to this special occasion, 4th International Conference on Computing, Communication and Learning, COCOLI 2025, organized by NIT Rourkela. Today we have gathered here with a shared vision to exchange knowledge, inspire innovations and create meaningful connections. We are truly honored to have with us distinguished guests, speakers, thought leaders. On behalf of the organizers, I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Professor Ajoy Kumar Roy, Padma Shri, former Director IIST Shibpur and former Professor IIT Kharagpur. We are equally delighted to welcome our guest of honor, Professor K. Umamaheshwar, Honorable Director, NIT Rourkela. We are very privileged to welcome our special guest, Professor Swadesh Pratihar, Dean SRICCE, NIT Rourkela. I cordially welcome our HOD, Chairman of the conference, Professor Bibhudatta Sahoo. I also welcome our organizing secretary of the conference, Professor Ratnakar and Professor Sibarama Panigrahi. Now I request all the dignitaries to occupy their chairs on the desk. Sir. Professor Ajoy Kumar Roy is recipient of Padma Shri in 2017. He is former Professor of Electronics and Electrical Communication Engineering and former Head, School of Medical Science and Technology at IIT Kharagpur. He has contributed significantly in research and academic administration as a distinguished academician of India. Professor Roy is the fellow and member of many professional bodies and is involved with a large number of universities in their academic bodies. He has served on a number of national committee on higher technical education. Now, I would like to request our student volunteer Anup to give flower bouquet to our chief guest of this evening. Sir. Professor K. Umamaheshwar has joined as director in this institute in February 2022. I proudly announce that under his leadership and guidance, NIT Rourkela has secured 13th rank in engineering category and 9th position in Sustainable Development Goals category in NRF 2025. It is the only NIT listed in top 10 in Sustainable Development Goals. A big round of applause for this great achievement under our director, sir. Now I request our student volunteer Dipti to give flower bouquet to our honorable director, sir. Professor S.K. Pratihar is professor in the Department of Ceramic Engineering and currently the Dean sponsored research. Now I request our student volunteer to give flower bouquet to our special guest. Now I request our student volunteer to give flower bouquet to our HOD and chairman of the conference, Professor B.D. Sahoo, sir. I again request our student volunteer to give flower bouquet to our organizing secretary, Professor Ratnakar. I also request our student volunteer to give flower bouquet to our organizing secretary, Professor Sibarama Panigrahi. To mark the beginning of the conference, I would like to invite our respected dignitaries for the lighting of the lamp, a symbol of knowledge, wisdom and enlightenment. Sir, please play the music of Saraswati Vandana. Shubham Kurutvam Kalyanam Arogyam Dhanasam
सम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम् सन्ध्यादीपनमोऽस्तुते ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः ओ दीपब्रह्मरूपस्त्वं ज्योतिषां प्रभुरव्ययः आरोग्यं देहि पुत्रांश्च मतिं स्वच्छां हि मे सदा रवेरस्तं समारभ्य यावत् सूर्योदयो भवेत्।
Sir, please take your seats. So the theme of the conference is Computing, Communication and Learning, which aims to bring together brilliant minds to share ideas, present research and explore new possibilities for academia and industry. This platform is not just about discussions but also about igniting collaborations and creating pathways for future growth. I now invite Professor Sibarama Panigrahi, Organizing Secretary Kokoli, to deliver the welcome address. Sibarama sir.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to one and all present in the auditorium and on Google Meet platform. Honorable Director, NIT Rourkela, and guest of honor of Kokoli 2025, Professor K. Umamaheshwar Rao, sir. Honorable Padma Shri, former Director, IIEST Shibpur, and Chief Guest of Kokoli 2025, Professor Ajoy Kumar Rai, sir. Dean SRICCE NIT Rourkela and special guest of Kokoli 2025, Professor Swadesh Kumar Pratihar, sir. Registrar, Deans, HODs, HOD Computer Science and Engineering NIT Rourkela and Chairman Kokoli 2025, Professor Bibhudatta, Sahoo, sir. Faculty members, conference participants, guests, volunteers, students, invited media persons, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome all of you to the DRDO sponsored Meets Raigada and NIIEST Bhubaneswar sponsored 4th International Conference on Computing, Communication and Learning, Kokoli 2025 from 22nd to 24th September 2025, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. The Kokoli conference series was started by the Department of CSE NIT Warangal in 2022 to make this as one of the leading conferences of national and international repute. This conference provides an opportunity for students, scholars and researchers to be exposed to various research directions in computing, communication and learning. The main aim of Kokoli is to provide quality publications to the research community and to provide direction to carry out further research. In Kokoli 2025, we received 153 full submissions. Each submission considered for publication was reviewed by 3 to 5 technical program committee members and reviewers of national and international repute. Based on reviews, the conference chairs decided to accept only 38 papers with an acceptance rate of 24.83%. Last year in Kokoli 2024, the acceptance rate was 22%. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to all the authors, co-authors who have submitted their work to this conference. Our special thanks to all the technical program committee members and reviewers who generously offered their expertise and valuable time, which helped the conference chairs to select papers and prepare the conference program. We were fortunate to have 7 esteemed academicians, including all the professors of our department, as our advisory committee member. The Department of CSE NIT Rourkela, Odisha, India, the host of the conference, has provided various support and facilities for organizing this conference. The conference program was prepared with the help of Tech Sammelan, which is founded by NIT Warangal. to facilitate efficient and smooth handling of all activities from paper submission to preparation of proceedings. We thank Communication in Computer and Information Science CCIS series of Springer for publishing the conference proceedings. We sincerely thank the staff of Springer for their cooperation and constant support throughout the publication process of this CCIS volume. We hope that you will find the papers in this collection helpful in doing further research. We need your active participation in COCOLI 2025 and make it a remarkable one. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Happy learning. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words and given statistics of these entire papers. So now I request all dignitaries to release the conference proceedings of COCOLI 2025. Sir, please. So, thank you all. Thank you, sir. Now, I request our HOD and Chairman of COCOLI 2025 to introduce the conference.
Respected Padma Shri Professor Ajoy Kumar Roy, our esteemed chief guest, Professor K. Umamaheshwar, Director NIT Rourkela, and the guest of honor, Professor Swadesh Pratihar, Dean SRICCE, and our special guest in this evening, respected deans of the institute, distinguished faculty members, invited guests, delegates, students, research scholars, and the staff member of the institute and the department, esteemed convener of the COCOLI, Ratnakar Das, Professor Anup Nandy, Professor Ramesh Mohapatra, and Professor Sibarama Panigrahi. A very good evening to all of you. It's my great honor and privilege as the head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering to extend the most cordial welcome to this August gathering on the occasion of the inauguration of the 4th International Conference on Computing, Communication and Learning. We are deeply privileged to have with us Padma Shri Professor Ajoy Kumar Roy as the chief guest. Sir, your visionary leadership and outstanding contribution to the engineering and the research in our nation are the true source of inspiration for us. We are equally honored by the gracious presence of our director, Professor K. Umamaheshwar, who is the guest of the honor and continues to guide and support us every academic endeavor of this institute with his wisdom and encouragement. We are also delighted to welcome Professor S. Pratihar, Dean SRICCE, as our special guest, whose academic excellence and the guidance strengthen our research and the innovation ecosystem. Before we begin the proceeding, allow me to say a few words about the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at NIT Rourkela. Established in 1986, the department has grown into one of the most dynamic academic and research hub of the institute, with more than 22 highly qualified faculty members, state-of-art laboratory, and vibrant community of undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral scholars. The department continues in the pioneer in the area of such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, cyber security, data science, cloud, edge computing, Internet of Things. Our students and faculty have consistently contributed to the impactful research, secure patents, published in the leading journals, and excelled in the global competition. Now, COCOLI 2025 is yet another flagship conference which will be going to add the value to our department and to the community that pursues in the domain of computing, communication, and the machine learning. We look forward to the insightful sessions, keynote addresses, and the technical presentation in the coming days. Once again, I also take this opportunity to welcome all the keynote speakers, authors, session chairs, and delegates who are present here to make this conference successful. At this moment, I used to place into my record my sincere appreciation to the conveners, Professor Ratnakar Das, Anup, Nandy, Ramesh, Mohapatra, and Sibarama Panigrahi for their tireless effort to planning and organizing this event at NIT Rourkela. My thanks goes to all the deans, faculty colleagues, staff, and the sponsorer, research scholar students whose commitment has ensured the successful completion of this conference. Once again, I extend the warm welcome to all of you. Let us together make this Kokoli 2025 a successful and a memorable event. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words and introducing about this Kokoli 2025. Now I invite our special guest, Professor Swadesh Kumar Pratihar, sir, Dean Shri NIT Rourkela, to share his valuable thoughts with us.
Good evening, respected chief guest of this today's event, Padma Shri Professor Roy, Director of our institute, Professor K. Umamaheshwar, Head of the Department, Bibhudatta, conveners of this event, Ratnakar Das, Sibarama Panigrahi, Ramesh Mohapatra, and Anup Nandy, my deans, associate deans, and the professors who are here in this gathering today, the participants, and the guest who has joined this event online and offline mode. Good evening to all. This event today is basically addressing three forces. One is computing, communication, and learning. These three forces has worked tremendously to change this world which we are. We have changed a lot during the past decades. The lifestyle, the way we talk, the way we work, the way we communicate with each other has changes a lot during this first 1 decade, and these changes are possible because of the amalgamation of these three forces working together: computing, communication, and networking, communication and learning. In computing, we can imagine the complex to complex problem which we cannot imagine earlier to solve. We can be able to solve now. We can think of solving this type of complex problem with the computing power of the computers, which is under development and is coming out. Similarly, in the communication, in earlier days we were restricted with the distance for the communication, but with the development of the internet, which is a amalgamation of the communication and computing together, the world becomes a network, and we can communicate to anywhere within the country within a real time. So that's the tremendous success we have progressed. Our country has progressed during this few years of work, and it's very much tremendous. We can say it within this progress with the time, right? Everything is getting obsolete by a year, span of 5 years or so. So these equipments, the gadgets, the techniques, the tools, the technologies, all are changing rapidly with the progress of this. Initially, we are limited with the classroom teaching. Only the learning was limited within the four walls of a classroom. But now the world has become a classroom. The internet, people can access the information so quickly, and they learn the different techniques and tools available with the internet, the online videos, the resources available in different academic platform. With that, people can progress rapidly with the learning. And with the progress of the today's world, what is happening, it's basically learning, relearning, and relearning. One who can able to scope these three quickly can be able to succeed in this progressing world. So with this, today we are here with the three powers together, and the people, the experts domain who are here, they will be discussing on the different aspects of the computing network and and the learning, which will give you the new ideas, which is going to be the future trend for this type of progress. Different type of tools and techniques, advanced methodologies which is coming out, you will be discussing during this couple of days. I hope when the participants will have a tremendous discussion during this couple of days. So with this, I thank you all for organizing the event over here at NIT Rourkela, and those the sponsors and the participants who are here. Because of your support, the conference has come to a reality. With this, I thank you all for this attending this conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your words. Now it's my honor to invite our guest of honor, Professor K. Umamaheshwar Rao, sir, our Honorable Director, to grace this occasion with these kind words. Sir.
The most distinguished dignitaries on dais, and then we have today Padma Shri Professor Ajoy Kumar Roy. He was my colleague at IIT Kharagpur from Electronics and Communications Department, and from there he moved to IIST Shibpur as the Vice Chancellor. I think you were in B. This is IIST Shibpur is nothing but B College. Yeah, it was B College when Professor Ajoy Roy went as a Vice Chancellor, and for a short stint again, I think he has come back to IIT Kharagpur and then again he has gone back, and then can very well imagine that almost a decade ago he has been awarded with, more than a decade ago, he has been awarded with the Padma Shri. That means whatever the accomplishments, right? And then sitting next to him, it gives me a nervousness for the first time. Otherwise, I never feel nervous about, right, what is the stature of a person, and next to him I am sitting, right? He's a stalwart. Right, I think we are very lucky to have him here this evening to share his thoughts about what exactly is the demand of the generation now, the young people, boys and girls. It is the time for you to really prove something to the world. Before that, I just congratulate the Computer Science Department for organizing this particular, the fourth in the series of the International Conference of Computing. Number one, I give a pass. Computing. This is number one. Strength or the weakness, I don't know. You have got to really prove that one. Communication is another aspect of that one. And then, of course, after computing and then communication is the learning process that we have. And coming to that particular first part of that one, I think Y2K, the year 2000, was the time when the Indians have really shown their acumen, or rather their strength in computing. And then we have become suddenly from what we were focusing on other manufacturing and other forms of engineering, suddenly overnight Y2K has given a new a dawn of the strength of India. That is where the Indians have proven that it is computing is our strength. Okay, and today because of that, what Donald Trump, the president of India, president of America, he has put a restriction on the H1B visa, the fee and all that one. So now, I think once again I feel that is come as a blessing in disguise for us, that the companies have to really now either have to establish here in India, and then people have to transfer the technology to the rest of the world, rather than the manpower moving to West and then trying to really work for them. I think this is one thing which the thing is what you have got to understand, my dear boys and girls. The reason is that when things start going tough, right, when things are going very tough, only the tough survives and then gets going. This is what we have got to really think, that this is the time when we have got to reassure the country that the strength of our computing should be giving some dividends to the country itself. And then with the GST reductions and various other forms, I think this is the time when we can really show up our strength once again. And communication, I think we are already some time ago, I think a couple of months ago, I was attending one conference in Electronics and Communication Department, and then the faculty in Electronics and Communication Department, they were organizing a workshop in 6G, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It's already 6G. And then this is again one thing which we have got to understand. And having said this one, but still our network is not always full. Right. The question is that I give you my personal experience. I'm a engineer who work underground. All right. I'm an underground engineer. My expertise is in tunneling as well as extraction of metals which are 2 kilometers down. Till date, Professor Ajoy Rai was also associated with few mines also for the communication aspect of that one. This wireless communication is till date not possible in underground mines. That is the greatest safety hazard. The reason is that if any accident that happens underground, before the communication through the standard wired communication, if the message reaches the surface, whatever the catastrophe that has to happen in the mines, it happens. Okay. So now this is still a challenging condition where just before, 5 minutes before coming here, there were a few faculty members from industrial design, they have come and they said that they have made a small robo which can really work underground. But then the idea was absolutely weird. It cannot really work underground. And that much is, I think I made them understand. So now this is another challenge that communication, forget about underground, surface mein hi problem hai. Today communication in campus itself is the biggest problem. The reason is that I used to have a BSNL SIM, okay. And then it used to, when I really came here, it was 3G, and then it became 4G, and then recently they have converted into 5G. G is not changing the strength of the signal. All right, I have got to run around the campus to find the tower and then see below just the tower itself is the signal. Away from the tower, there is no signal. And then unfortunately or fortunately, right, my room, there is one room which is called the board room. And everybody understands the importance of a boardroom. All the board meetings happen in boardroom. That falls under the shadow zone. BSNL came not once, 3-4 times, and then they said that we are putting a special router and then the signal strength will be increased and all that one. And then believe me, शाम को यहाँ पर खड़ा होकर के तो झूठ नहीं बोलना है. तो मैंने BSNL का सिम छोड़ के जियो सिम लगाया. Right? The tragedy is that either the problem is with me or with the SIM, I don't know. Until I was not taking BSNL, I was running my show with the BSNL, signal strength of BSNL was low. And then every other person who is coming to my room, whomever I asked, they said that, sir, BSNL से भरोसा मत रखिए, जियो ले लीजिए. उन लोगों का भरोसा लेकर के मैंने कुछ महीने पहले ही जियो पे transfer करवाया. Number remaining same. Now the service provider is Jio. जब से मैं Jio लिया हूँ, गया काम से. फिर एक बार वही प्रॉब्लम है. Problem, the signal strength is एकदम, and on a daily basis I have some service or some information to be sought from my CSAB office. Professor Anindya Bausi is also having BSNL. Right, and then I cannot communicate with him, he cannot communicate with me. And only then when we are opposite to each other across the table, even then the signal does not go. So now this may be little rhetoric, and then but then the truth is that which needs to be our strength is not our strength. Right? Today we are now going online, and then COVID has given us an opportunity. Just remember that COVID has given an opportunity. Many companies have really mushroomed, and then communication in various forms has been possible online. And so much so that ministry now today feels that, right, I can just give them 15 minutes prior to the start of the meeting with the secretary, people will be ready to attend the meeting. इससे पहले ऐसा नहीं होता था. 15 दिन पहले एक लेटर आता था कि प्लीज कंफर्म वेदर यू आर अटेंडिंग द मीटिंग और नॉट फिजिकल एंड ब्ला 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 ब्ला. अभी नहीं है. बस मुझे दोपहर को 2 बजे मुझे एक लेटर मिलता है कि 3:30 बजे मीटिंग है सेक्रेटरी से. सो नो एवरीथिंग इज गेटिंग पॉसिबल. The problem even today we have is that sometimes the signal is very bad in Mantralaya, or the problem is with NIT Rourkela or somewhere that one. So no, we are still not, the network is there. Campus has all various forms of optical fiber lines, underground as well as overhead also. But still the weakness, the signal weakness is there. And there is, unfortunately, there is a shadow zone. There are BSNL towers, there are Geo towers. Machkhane, between these, there is some place which is signal interference is there, and then you just cannot get any signal. And then director's office is in that particular shadow zone. It's a blessing in disguise or a curse, I do not know. I leave it to all the engineers here who are dealing with networking as well as communication. Right, you please, we are still many mountains to climb, many mountains to climb as far as our strength is concerned. When we can really reach out to the most remotest part of the country without any hindrance, right, I think that is the time we should really claim that we have achieved something. I am not saying that it should be 6G or 10G. Whatever the G that is there, that G should be effective in wherever it is. And today, we are in that particular age. At least I have 2 smartphones. Both of them are having Geo. Both of them were having BSNL. If it's a the factor of safety is 50%. If one doesn't work, the other should work. But then if both of them do not work, is the problem. Okay, and everyone, right from the auto driver to domestic help to every other person, is having a mobile. Okay, and today you go to sector 1, vegetable kharidne jaoge, everyone is having your money transfer. Okay, and then I think this has really empowered the people to really try to transfer money within seconds time. Right, international transfers are also happening. Everything, everywhere it is happening. Only then the network should be absolutely be perfect, and then without any hurdle or hassle. Now, I just would like to remind my young boys and girls, I do not know how many BTech science, BTech students are there from computer science department. All the while I used to have, I have, even now I have, it's not I used to, even now I have an issue with my students from computer science department. Prior to coming here, I was at Suratkal, right, as the director from 2017 to 22. I really carried some ideas with me from Kharagpur to Suratkal, and then Google of Summer Code, it was 3 or 4 students used to participate in that Google of Summer Code from computer science, electronics and various other departments. By the time I left Suratkal and then joined here, more than 300 students used to participate, and then they used to really have a fantastic performance there, and sometimes they should really beat IIT Kharagpur itself, and then used to come with the award, one or the other award. First is Trichy, second is the Warangal or Suratkal, or first is Trichy, second is Suratkal, third is Warangal. This is how they took the strength of these students, BTech students, in coding at these NITs are. Definitely I am saying Professor Ajoy Rai should not take an offense here that students from NIT, computer science, electronics and then even mechanical students, they had the best computing knowledge than IIT students. So तालिबत तो हो जाएगा. Okay. This is the strength because they were grounded, and then they have honed the skills, and then they have really done a marvelous job. Something which I am not able to take the credit for is sending hundreds of students from NIT Rourkela, computer science, and then the BTech, artificial intelligence, and then electronics and communication and instrumentation, electrical. There are, if I really put everything together, on an average, I think we are taking something around 400, Professor Pankaj? 400 students every year I am taking. But then half of them, or 1/3 is also not participating in Google Summer of Code. which needs to be our strength, right? Which needs to be our strength, it should not become our weakness. Please remember that one. Okay? And then what you should understand is that by not preparing yourself for the tomorrow, which is completely dependent on your skill in deep technology, if you make that as your weakness, where are you going to put yourself in that tomorrow? Where I said that when the going gets tough, are you becoming tough enough to take the challenge, or suck up to that one? The call is yours. All right. So now what you may at best you do is that when any company is coming on campus, थोड़ा उसको थोड़ा इधर उधर से copy करके the whatever the type of examination which they conduct, you skip through and then you finally attend the interview. You are not achieving anything by that. Whatever you achieve by virtue of your ability and capacity, that gives you confidence, my dear. That gives you confidence. Nothing by copying is not going to give you any confidence on what you can do to face the tomorrow. Okay, remember that one. Please remember that. Okay, and then today, just now, Professor Anup has really stated that he has given entire credit of NIRF ranking to me. No, I'm just only a non-playing captain. It's not even playing captain. I'm a non-playing captain, right? Sitting in my office and then trying to criticize my faculty. They criticize me definitely. Right? They have got to criticize me offline. I criticize them online. Okay. So now this is this sort of criticism which mutually we are going through, and then we are comfortable with each other's criticism. Okay. But then I just take this point to acknowledge my thanks to all my faculty, staff, students, quote unquote. Leave that to students itself to judge yourself. Where have you, how much have you contributed in terms of publications? I'm not talking about the research scholars. If there are research scholars here, that I am really including you as to be becoming faculty, and so I'm talking about the MTechs, I'm talking about the BTechs. Please check it. I'm not comparing with MIT or Stanford or Berkeley or any other Georgia. No, I'm just comparing with only NITs, not even IITs. Where are you? How many patents have you really incubated, or not patents, how many ideas you have incubated in FTBI? There are. Don't again think that I'm trying to make use of this particular platform to criticize you. I'm just trying to थोड़ा motivate different directions से motivate करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि around 80 startup companies are there in FTBI today. 80. Okay. Hardly 10% of them are from my students from NIT Rourkela. 90% of the startup companies, I am funding them. Lakhs of rupees, I am funding them. But none of them are from my students in NIT Rourkela, nor from my faculty, nor from my research scholars. Where is your intellect going? Where are you addressing that? Right. So now the question is that this conference which Professor Anup Nandy said that, or Panigrahi has said that, it is meant for this communication, computing and learning is meant for publication. No. If this is the objective, this is not the objective. We are not having a conference here and then getting a stalwart here like Professor Ajoy Roy, Padma Shri Ajoy Roy, just to help us in publication. I am not accepting that. No. It is not at all for that. He has come here to really make us realize the importance of incubating any idea. I'll give you another one particular reality. If we are incubating 100 ideas, I will support all the 100 ideas. Let one idea come out to be an absolutely promising entrepreneur. We are fine. In this 2016 to 25, we could really achieve 3 startup companies which are inching towards 100 crore valuation. One is the Croatia, I think you must have heard about that one. Right, recently Indian Naval, right, they have offered them 66 crores, and so their valuation today is close to 100 crores. After that we have Arashore, and then another is Datams. These are the only three. 2016 से 25 तक 80 में से सिर्फ 3. You just take the ratio of that one. What is the success rate of our innovation and incubation center at NIT Rourkela? मेरा कहना यह है कि I was telling one of the faculty members that if somebody has started a tea shop under banyan tree, that cannot be an idea which can be incubated. It's a business, because he is selling tea. After 20 years, his son may join and sell tea only. And then when he retires, his son will become the tea seller, and his son will also be doing the tea selling only. There is no idea which is incubating to grow into something bigger. Infosys started as an incubation center or incubated idea. Right? There are so many. The Byju's, it was just about 5-6 students in Mangalore, right? And Byju's, forgot his name. His wife has taken degree from NIT Rourkela only. Right? When they started with some 4 or 5 people, and then today it has grown into a multi-billion company. That's exactly what we are looking forward to. You have to become an entrepreneur where it is not just you are engaged with, and you are engaging 100 odd people there in your company. These are the times. And remember, mind you, there cannot be a better time than the time in which you are living in. In seconds, communication can go across the ocean. In this time also, if we really become very conservative in our approach, and then look for somebody to really help us, handhold, and then take us forward. Right? वो दिन गया कि एग्जामिनेशन पे बैठ करके नकल मारे, वो दिन गया भी. People are not doing that. Absolutely stopped doing that one, because they want to prove something to themselves, that I can achieve something to myself. In that time, if you are still in that conservative thoughts, and then our objective is not publications, please. If all the faculty members are thinking that COCOLE is for publication purpose, no, it is not for publication purpose. Publication should be a consequence of the research that you are doing. From publication, the next consequence is you have really filed your for patent. That should be the next stage of consequence. Third consequence is that you have been awarded, right? IP, intellectual property rights. And then fourth consequence is that you are incubating that. And then fifth one is that you are creating a technology transfer. A product is there, out. Each one of you, all the faculty, students, each one of you, you are the selected group from the country. Okay, if you have any doubts, you please ask Pankaj sir. 12 lakhs, 15 lakhs students really take JEE examination. From that, around 10% or less than 10% are getting into NITs and IITs. This is the selected band. If this selected band is not raising up to the occasion and proving to the world, अगर कोई वहां से वेस्ट से हमें डराएगा, हम डर जाएंगे. H1B वीसा का हम 100,000 बनाएंगे फी डॉलर्स, एंड देन एक साथ में तो हम कांपना तो नहीं चाहिए ना. That has been our strength. Why don't you really prove to the world that yes, you have given us an opportunity to prove. Stay in India, make in India, and transfer from India. Why can't it be possible? Think about that one. And then I take this opportunity. I do not want to say much more than what I have already said. And then don't take me negative. Don't take me negative. Take it positive. And then every time, most of my addresses, I end up comparing with the cricket. Some of you must have watched last night's T20 match. Okay? You must have watched. Then we made a horrible performance. We really made a horrible performance. एक समय ऐसा था कि मुझे इतना गुस्सा आया कि ये लोग वहाँ पर क्या कर रहे हैं. When you are being challenged, are you living up to the challenge or succumbing to that one? लक थोड़ा हमें साथ दिया लास्ट में. right? So now, don't give up. My only message to young boys and girls is that don't give up. One failure should not really take you to the end of everything. It is only a beginning of your realization that what more you need to learn, what more you need to know. One failure or 10 failures or 100 failures, every failure should give you, take it as an opportunity. That failure is an opportunity for you to know what most or what more you need to learn about yourself. When you place yourself in the life which you define, इससे ज़्यादा ecstasy कुछ होगा नहीं. It's not just the joy of your life that you experience, but then you will be experiencing the ecstasy of your life when you get yourself into the life and then maneuver your life the way you want to. Let someone should not decide what you have got to become. You should decide what you have got to become, because you are sitting in the driver's seat. Steering is there in your hand, accelerator is there under your feet. Okay, कितना जोर से जाना है, कितना स्लो जाना है. पॉट होल्स तो रहेगा ही रहेगा इंडिया में. आज का दिन में वो आईटी सेंटर, हब ऑफ आईटी बैंगलोर में पॉट होल नहीं है, वो तो सिंक होल्स है. कार्स खुद अंदर जा रहा है. Right? This is going to be your highway. Right? You should be able to maneuver that and then come out in flying colors. Wish you all the very best. I am looking forward. Professor B.B. Sahoo, Computer Science Department ka, I have really told him that I need minimum 200 students participating in Google Summer Code next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts and inspiring us to translate our ideas into incubations. So now it's also my privilege and honor to invite our chief guest, Professor Ajoy Kumar Roy sir, to grace this event with your kind words. Sir.
A very good afternoon to all the participants. My very old and very good friend from IIT Kharagpur, your director, Professor Umamaheshwar, who just now has given a lecture which is not just simply a lecture with a message, but every point that he has made, there cannot be more truth in it. It's really something which should inspire all of you, and I'm sure that the quantum of information and quantum of spirit which is embedded in his lecture is enormous. And my colleagues from this institute, Professor Professor Bibhudatta Sahoo, the head of the department, Professor Swadesh Kumar Pratihar, the Dean's Sponsored Research and Industrial Consultancy, and the organizing secretaries, that is Professor Ratnakar and Professor Sibarama Panigrahi, and my very good friend Professor Anup Nandy, and all the faculty members of this institute, my dear students. At the outset, let me thank the Department of Computer Science and Engineering here for truly doing an excellent job in organizing a conference. It's a DRDO sponsored international conference and fourth conference. It's really a very commendable job that you are organizing this for the fourth time on computer, communication and learning. And truly speaking, we have already entered an age for quite some time where these two things, that is computation and communication, they have completely merged and converged together. And today, learning becomes an essential ingredient in everything that you think about, in every technology that you can conceive of. You cannot do it without learning, that is the machine learning. Professor, your Honorable Director, Professor Umamaheshwar, he just now mentioned about certain points. I would just very briefly mentioned and reiterate that this is extremely important, that it's not truly just for increasing the number of publications, but the spirit behind it is the country really needs a lot of new ideas. And I'm sure that in this institute you have got a lot of very important ideas, which some of these papers, I was just glancing through some of the publications. Some of them are truly very commendable, and try to do patenting. And not only, I find in many institutions they say that after filing the patent that okay, I have got so many patents. No, the patents need to be granted. And then the most important thing is the really we want to find that okay, it's realized in action. And it's something like an agent AI, where there should be an agent in you who should be able to really do the job of finally getting it translated into some workable model or some workable prototype. And there are so many different applications. As science and technology moves forward, you all know that this is very important to see that newer opportunities come and newer challenges come. One of the most important challenges, Professor Rao was mentioning about a very important thing, that there has been prolific developments in computing and communication. So from 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G. Now in India we have got lots of 5G, in many places. Already you have entered that era. And 6G is just about to come. Now you all have to know certain things which are very important. That it is not only in this wireless communication domain, where let's take a very simple thing, that is the total number of base stations which were required for implementing the 4G, it gets almost quadrupled in 5G. Almost 4 times more base stations are required. And now suppose today in India we have got about, I found that something around say 6 lakhs of base stations, if it is there. In China they have got 7 times more than that. And most important thing is that not only just you increase the base station, because he was mentioning about a very important point, that is his location, it resides in the shadow, and the director's office not getting the appropriate bandwidth and communication is not a very good thing. I am sure that the communication department experts here, if anybody is here, you should definitely take care of that. Now the total amount of power consumption is very important to note. The power consumption in each of these base stations, it's almost more than double than that of 4G base stations. So a total amount of power consumption, not only in the communication arena, and as you all very rightly you all know that the amount of power consumption which we are truly incurring every moment in computing, and in the form of the huge amount of data centers, it's not only mind-boggling, it's going to create a havoc in the entire globe. And any kind of power consumption, you should know a very important thing, that even in our case, 1 unit of more power means you are generating almost 900 grams of more additional carbon you are throwing in the atmosphere. Almost 1 kg of carbon. And imagine the amount of power that we are generating today, how much amount of carbon you are generating. And the greenhouse effect, everything is going to create havoc everywhere. So we have to really take care of certain things, and one of them is, even in computing, we must go for green computing. You must consider that, okay, how to reduce the computational complexity of all that you do, and always keep that in mind, that we must be very much aware about the aspect, that is the environmental cost of whatever we do. So this is important, and now that we have to go forward, and I will in my lecture just give some small hints that how to go about it at every phase, that whatever you develop, it must be, coupled with this very concept. Keep it in the back of your mind. Whatever I am doing, it must not truly, create problem for the future generations. So I am once again very happy. I was going through some of the publications, some of the papers which will be read in the next session, and then in the current next 2 days. Very good amount of, lots of papers on the different AI. And one AI, driven this data center, that again means that it's a huge, not only in terms of the amount of cooling you have to do on each of these data centers. And in India, you may be knowing that many of these big companies like Google, Microsoft, and very rightly Professor, the director sir, he has mentioned that many of these companies, they are now headed by IITians. Google's Sundar Pichai, he was our student and at IIT Kharagpur. And they are all headed, and Indians, they are really heading all these organizations. The point is that many of you, I'm sure, that will be even a much better, computer software scientist than whatever, Sundar has done. Now, it is extremely important that keep at least one part of your existence in India, even if I am sure that today Trump has done that because he is a madcap. Tomorrow he will release that, almost 88 lakhs one has to pay for visa, H1B visa. So whatever he does, he never thinks about it, and today he does. After 7 days again he takes it. Nobody in the world takes him seriously anymore. So nobody, I know that, okay, because every year I stay in USA for almost 2, 3, 4 months. And I know that nobody takes very seriously, whether it's inside USA or outside USA. Trump is never taken seriously. So today he has done it, and then after 7 days he will again retract, and including that tariff. Tariff also already he has started, renegotiating this, that and all. He doesn't know that what he is doing. Anyway, so that is the situation today. But then even if those things are, hurdles are over, please keep your existence in the country. And the country very truly needs that we must be, because our neighbor, China, how could they move forward with such accelerated movement? We need more of focused thought, more of vision, and then we need to know that what has to be done. That is very important. So since AI and computer science, it will lead all the aspects of human life, all the endeavors that we do today, and since you will be in a sense a part of it, so please, your responsibilities, as Professor as our director has just now mentioned, Professor Rao has mentioned, your responsibilities, it becomes much more. And you also should know that as computer scientist, that okay, it's not my job only to understand how AI works and how to write, because now today you don't need to even code. So coding is now becoming obsolete, and it's a very serious time that we are passing through. Many of the companies, they are on the verge of, or they have already started in USA, in India, about that, because in computer science jobs are not going to be very stable. It's not that very good computer programming means a lot, but then more important thing, as he was very rightly pointed out, that try to ask questions. Try to know that what you want to get, to get accomplished by AI, because otherwise, and always ask the right question and always look for the right answer. ChatGPT, I do not know, I'm sure that many of you are using already, and you have been using, because now even in schools, I find that majority of the students in Indian schools, even in vernacular schools, they regularly use ChatGPT. In one of these schools, I had gone there, and then I asked the students, they kept silent because all the teachers were there. And then the teacher said that, sir, they are always using it, ChatGPT. So I said that is good. In Hong Kong University, I knew that vice chancellor. So he has made a very peculiar rule that all the students, they must be allowed to do ChatGPT. At the time when many of the institutes, they were banning that, okay, computer science students cannot use ChatGPT, etc. Whether you ban it or not, nobody is going to listen to you. But more important thing is that gentleman, he said that ChatGPT should be a must. Everybody, the students, they have the right to use it very regularly. And then what the teachers will do, it is the responsibility on the teachers. That how you will, ask the questions, how you will teach, it is now irrespective of ChatGPT. We will delve into some aspects of it slightly later on. And I wish all of you very well. It is all your credit, as your director very rightly pointed out, that you have brought this institute to a very, whatever as director, he said is very important, but more important thing is that you are truly excellent and you are truly doing great. And I wish each one of you very well. I wish the conference very well, and maybe that we'll meet after 5-10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for mesmerizing this event with your valuable thoughts and views. So now I would like to request our Honorable Director, sir, to felicitate our Chief Guest, Professor Ajoy Kumar Rai, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Dean Shri Professor Swadesh Kumar Pratihar, sir, to felicitate our Honorable Director, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I also like to request our HOD, Professor Bibhudatta Sahoo, sir, to felicitate our Dean Shri Professor S.K. Pratihar, sir. Thank you. So we are extremely thankful to DRDO Government of India, MITS Raigara, and NIST group of institution for supporting this conference with their generous sponsorship. And we would extremely thankful to DRDO lab, DRDO Devil Lab, Dr. Mohan Velu, Scientist G, for his kind support for this giving this opportunity for us to invite, but unfortunately he could not be able join our conference today. So now I would like to request our Dean Sri Sir, Professor S.K. Pratihar, to felicitate Professor C.V. Gopinath, Director, MITS Raigara, and Dr. Dusman Patnaik, Deputy Director, NIST Group of Institutions. On behalf of him, anyone, on behalf of the NIST Group, anyone please come and take this award. Thank you so much for your kind sponsorship. Thank you, sir. Throughout each day, we will have engaging sessions, keynote addresses, and panel discussion by experts in the various fields of computer science. We encourage you to participate actively, ask questions, and interact with your fellow participants to enrich your knowledge and foster this opportunity in your fields. Now, I would like to request Professor Ratnakar Das to deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Good evening to one and all present over here. I feel extremely delighted and pleasure to propose the vote of thanks for this inauguration of our COCOLI 2025. On behalf of the organizing committee, I take this opportunity to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Padma Shri Professor Ajay Kumar Roy, for graciously accepting our invitation. In spite of many hurdles, he has travelled along the way to NIT Rourkela to be a part of our conference, and he has motivated us to carry forward the objectives in a clear way and what we need to do. Thank you, sir, for your motivation and greater enthusiasm for us to take our work in a right way. I extend my wholehearted thanks to our honorable director, sir, who has been always a motivation for us to do work in a right direction, and he has support and encouragement and visionary guidance that has enabled us to reach at this point. I take this opportunity to express our deep appreciation to our special guest, Professor S.K. Pratihar, sir, Dean Sri, to grace this occasion. I would like to thank our HOD, Professor B.D. Sahoo, for constant support and guidance for organizing this conference. We are sincerely thankful to the sponsors who have generously supported us to organize this conference, DRDO, NIST Group of Institutions, and MITS Raigada. And special word of thanks goes to our reviewers and experts who has spent their valuable time to evaluate our papers and provide constructive feedback. My sincere thanks to the team from NIT Warangal, Professor Sanjay Panda, Professor Godbole, Professor Patra, and Professor Rasmiranjan Raut for their presence and support towards this conference. We are also thankful to our volunteers and organizing team who had worked tirelessly behind the scene to make this particular event successful. Finally, I would like to thank all the participants and delegates who has joined us physically as well as online to make this event enrichful. So with these words, I once again thank one and all who has contributed in different directions towards this conference. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. As we move ahead, let us remember that this conference like these are not just events but milestones in our collective journey towards knowledge and innovations. We will be closing this session by national anthem. So may I kindly request everyone to rise for our national anthem. Please play national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you. So now a high tea has been arranged outside the hall. Now I request all the attendees to join the refreshment. Just after the refreshment, we will have our inaugural talk by Professor Ajay Kumar Rai sir. Have a nice evening. Thank you so much for joining these sessions. So this refreshment is outside. I am requesting everyone, please take the refreshment.